What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, back with another Prize Picks video for you. Today is Wednesday, February 1st, 2023. We have 9 games on the slate in the NBA. Prize Picks has gone ahead and did us right, decorating this board with all of our player props. So we have quite a bit to dig into. I have already decided who our 3 plays are today. I have 3 plays that I am very confident in, and I will share with you why I am confident in these plays, as well as 2 honorable mentions. So giving you a few different options to go with today, giving you a few different options, ways that you can construct your slips. So if you are ready, I am ready. I hope this video is finding you well and in good spirits. Let us commence. Let's head on over to Boston, where the Celtics are hosting the Brooklyn Nets, and I'm going to go over and check out Jalen Brown's over on his 9.5 rebounds and assists. Pulling up his game log on props.cash, you can see that over the last 4 games at home, Jalen Brown has crushed this number with an average of basically 11 per game. If you think that there's a slant because he's at home, look at his game log over the last 10 games. That is inclusive of away games and home games. He's still hitting it at a 60% clip. It is just a little bit more concentrated because of their home schedule. They've been playing more games at home lately. So he's still getting you 12, 12, 14, 11, and 12. If you think that this could possibly regress and that there is no way that Jalen Brown can maintain this level of production, let's look at his rebounds and assists alone. So rebounds by themselves, Jalen Brown over the last 5 games is averaging 8 rebounds a game. And we're gonna go back to home. 9, 9, 9, and 12. So 9 rebounds over his last 5, basically 8 over his last 10. What if he regresses to the mean? Well, his mean is 7. So if he gives you 7 rebounds today, that would be over his rebound prop alone. But he would need then 3 assists to hit his RA line. When we check out what his assists have been over the last 3 games, over the last 5 games, he's giving you 2. Over his last 10, he's giving you 2. But over the season, full view, he's giving you 3. So that gives you 10. 2 out of his last 3 home games, he's giving you 3 assists. 4 out of his last home games, he's giving you 3. 3 out of his last 4, he's giving you 3 assists. 2 out of his last 3, he's giving you 3 assists. If you want to look at all, actually fares a little better because he had a very good game against the Toronto Raptors where he dished out 6 assists. But look at that. 3, 2, 3, 3, 6, 3, 2, 3. He did not play against New Orleans. So, wait, did he play against New Orleans? I do not want to misinform you. He did play against New Orleans, and he scored 41 points. So he did not do a lot of assisting, and he got 12 rebounds. So if you played his RA that game, you cashed because he got you 12 rebounds, no assists. The point I'm trying to make here is the majority of his RA comes from rebounds and assists. So why not take his assists? Why not just take his rebounds alone? You can do that. You can do that. You can take his rebounds by themselves if you want. I personally just like his rebounds and assists. I think they offer more upside, in the event that he doesn't grab 9, 8 rebounds and he gives you 3 or 4 assists. It just gives you a little bit more coverage with the prop, but I don't mind his rebounds by themselves. But for this video and my core 3, I'm rolling with Jalen Brown over 9.5 rebounds and assists. Also keep in mind, games against Brooklyn mean something. This is an Eastern Conference battle. This could be a possible round 1 matchup. These are 2 teams that play each other hard and they always show up. I'm not reading into the Kyrie narrative. Honestly, I dug into the numbers. Over the course of his career versus Celtics, he has very, very good numbers. But since being a Brooklyn Net, when he plays the Boston Celtics, I mean, look at this. He has 6 games versus Boston as a Brooklyn Net. First 2 games were monster games. And then he's just kind of like, if you wanted to go PRA, 26, 34, 35, I should say. I was interested in his points today, but 30 points is a lot of points for Kyrie, and he can do it. But I just think sometimes there's a little bit more put into the whole Kyrie used to play in Boston narrative. I don't think it's that big of a narrative, to be honest with you. So I was looking at his points, though, as a possibility today. But instead, we're rolling with Jalen Brown over 9.5 rebounds and assists. Second play of the day, we're heading over to the Valley of the Sun. Thank you in the comments for letting me know what the appropriate state motto was. I think I called it the Land of the Sun. DeAndre Ayton over 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Let's take a look at why I like this. All right. So over his last 5, he's giving you 36. Over his last 10, he's giving you 33. Very concentrated production here. Over the last 4 games, he has been basically unconscious. He's playing at another level. It's not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence that this like play of his started to take shape when Chris Paul came back from injury. Chris Paul returned from injury on the 22nd, and DeAndre Ayton was starting to come into form in or around that time. He did have that one game before Chris Paul came, but there's no doubt that Chris Paul makes DeAndre Ayton a better player. So that's one thing I like about this prop is Chris Paul is helping him get there. Number 2, the Atlanta Hawks play at a super fast pace, 8th in the league in pace. The Suns play at a very, very moderate pace, 21st in the league. So what does this mean? It means that the Phoenix Suns are in a pace-up game. So what we know about pace-up games is more possessions, more opportunities to score, more rebounds, more shot attempts, more block shots. Everything goes up when the pace of play is fast, especially if you are missing shots. Then there are more rebound opportunities. If you are interested in, or worried that Capella is going to deter DeAndre Ayton from having a productive night, this is what centers have done versus the Atlanta Hawks: points, rebounds, and assists. Mike Muscala he doesn't count. I didn't even know he was back in the league. Yusuf Nurkic put up 18 on a 27 PRA prop. Zubac hits, Vucevic hits, Plumlee hits, Randall hits, Adebayo hits. So I went and checked out the breakdown between the Hornets and the Hawks because Plumlee, out of all those centers, is probably the one that you think is like worse, I guess. He's good, but if you look up stat lines that, Joel Embiid crushed the Atlanta Hawks, they're terrible against centers, well, that's Joel Embiid. If you do the same thing for like Jokic, those are 2 of the best players in the NBA, and of course they're going to crush the Atlanta Hawks, crush any team they play. They're going to put up great stat lines. But if someone like Mason Plumlee is putting up 25 points in 30 minutes versus the Atlanta Hawks, and Clint Capella is on the floor for these minutes. Clint Capella started the first quarter, plays 5 minutes. Plumlee starts the first quarter, plays 7 minutes. Capella's on the floor for all that production. Plumlee comes in the second quarter, plays 5 minutes. Capella is already in the game. He plays 7 minutes. Again, more production versus Capella. This just goes on and on and on. 8 minutes in the third quarter, Capella sees most of that floor time. So Capella is present for all this production. It's not as if he's being pulled and then teams are taking advantage of a small front court. Capella is a bit of a liability versus opposing centers. When I look at the stats, they really support DeAndre Ayton's prop tonight. I do like his first half as well. It is a bit of a decline. However, I was a little concerned with full game because his second half stats tend to dip. One thing stood out to me is Props.cash did not include the overtime stats here in San Antonio. So this should actually be 14, right? If you do the math, 20 in the first half, 34 game total, but he only shows 10 in the second half. So this should actually be 14. Second half prop. Does he hit it with 14? No, he doesn't hit it, but that looks a lot better when it's up there versus down here. So 14, 13, 15, and 14 PRA in the second half. Then he goes off for 19 against Toronto. Also keeps the average a bit higher. Doesn't dip as much. So instead of this being 13.2, this would probably be closer to, 14. So DeAndre Ayton has a lot going for him. I like his full game PRA. I like his first half PRA. And if you wanted to get a little more granular with it, you can go with just points for DeAndre Ayton. First half points look very, very good, as well as his full game points. So I just like the prospects of this fast-paced game. I like what they offer DeAndre Ayton. And in this game, he's the best big man. He's like the second best player on the floor. You can argue that he's the best player on the floor in this game. In terms of what he can do and how he can impact the game, you can argue that he'll be the best player on the floor in this game. Yes. So DeAndre Ayton rounds out the top three in terms of... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Does not. I owe you one. All right. DeAndre Ayton's number 2 then. All right. Let's go up north where the Toronto Raptors are playing the Utah Jazz. Not hosting the Utah Jazz, but Utah's still up north. At least from Texas it is. So I like Fred VanVleet over his full game points of 20.5, and here is why. Another pace-up opportunity. So Utah plays at the 11th fastest pace in the NBA. Toronto does not even come close. So Toronto is a much slower paced team. This is a pace-up game for the Toronto Raptors. Pace-up game for Fred VanVleet. I like that. Number 2, I look at his shot volume over his last 10 games. Well, first of all, his minutes are incredible. They're always over 30. He's averaging 32 over his last 10. He's on the floor. That's the most important thing is his availability. He's on the floor. Your foot's in the door with that one. His shot attempts, I look at his last game versus Dallas and those games where he did not hit a prop. He's not shooting the ball a lot. And I mentioned in a previous video where I took his over on his points at 19.5, and he didn't hit because his shot volume was down. And that was the game he played against, hold on. All that still applies, but I had Jordan Clarkson pulled up. Yeah, his shot volume is down. In those games where he doesn't hit his prop, his shot volume is depressed. 13 against Portland. The 13 shot attempts against Minnesota, he still hit his point prop because he was 4 for 6 from behind the arc. But the game against Sacramento was a game where he took 16 shots, which is a little low, made 7 of them, but he was also 2 for 9 from the 3-point line, which is terrible. So if his threes are not falling, his shot volume is down. It's hard for him to hit his points. But I look for that not to be the case today. So I like his shot volume to get back up to that, 17 to 19 range. Keeping his 3-point percentage in that 40% range. And again, pace up play for the Toronto Raptors today. Look at what some of these the guard combos have done. Dallas lit them up for 50 plus points, real points. Damian Lillard, Gary Payton, Anthony Simon scored 170 points against this team. Rozier goes for 23. Dennis Smith, Kyrie Irving, Norman Powell without Kawhi and George goes off for 30. 19 for good measure between Reggie Jackson and Amir Coffey. 49 real points. The trio in Minnesota, they put up 66 points against this Utah team. We don't need Fred VanVleet to score 60 points. We need him to score 21 points, and I think he can do it for us today. So those are my 3 core plays for today's slate. I said that I have 2 honorable mentions for you, and I will share those with you right now. 2 rookies for you. Number 1, Jeremy Sochan over his full game points. And you can also look to Jeremy Sochan over his first half points. I think this is just too low. Way too low for Jeremy Sochan, who's getting 30 minutes a game. Super fast game between these 2 teams. How fast, you ask? Well, the Sacramento Kings are playing at the 7th fastest pace in the NBA. And the Spurs are playing at the 6th fastest pace. Super fast game environment for Jeremy Sochan. 13.5 full game points. And Props.cash has it at 7, but it is actually set at 6.5, which looks even better. 6.5 first half points, Jeremy Sochan. Honorable mention number 1. Honorable mention number 2, Jalen Duren. Did they pull him from the... They pulled him. Man. Wow. Okay. So honorable mention number 2 was Jalen Duren over his first half PRA or points, and they pulled him from the board. So I tell you what. Since the rug got pulled from underneath me, I will give you one more honorable mention. Man, that sucks. I hope you played it. I hope you got that in. That was a really, really good. That was a really, really good line to take advantage of. Okay, so I said I had 2. Man, I really, really like that one. I tell you what, I really also like the first half point prop for Domantas Sabonis tonight versus the San Antonio Spurs, 9.5. As an honorable mention to take the place of Jalen Duren, who was ripped away from us. Damn it, Prizepicks. I have so many tabs open here. Yeah, so Sabonis over his first half points. And you can see he's done this on a pretty consistent basis. Has 2 dud games sprinkled in there versus Memphis and Toronto. But overall, fast pace, positive game environment. He gets a lot of his production done in the first half. So attack the first half points for Sabonis. And that is going to round out our honorable mentions. In addition to our 3 core plays, you got 5 player props that you can do with what you want. And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel and just checking this video out. Truly, truly appreciate the time you've taken to do so. Drop me a comment below letting me know who your favorite picks on the day are, who your props of choice are on Prizepicks, who have you locked in. Also, let me know what you think about these picks, these observations. What do you think about the core? What do you think about the honorable mentions? I'm still a little pissed off that Duren got taken away from us, but it was a very, very good prop, and I hope you were able to get his first half PRA or points in there. Even full game points was a good one for Jalen Duren. But let me know what you think about these observations and these decisions to go with these particular props in the comments below. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you love them? Do you want to leave them? Either way, let me know what's on your mind. Thank you once again for stopping by the channel and just chilling out with me, talking some NBA props. And until the next video, Chavez is out. Best of luck, everybody.